Hey everyone, I hope you're enjoying your weekend and enjoying the cooler temperatures outside. I wanted to go over a few things inside before going outside. So I want to start some of this red mustard inside, but then I also want to direct sow some of it in this white barrel that's right out here. Only one plant survived of the 3 that I put in there, and I would like some more. And it might be too late. It might not germinate, but we're just gonna try and see what happens. Also, I want to pot up the spider plants. We can just put them in some red solo cups, and if you would like to take one home, feel free. What else? Oh, there are sweet potatoes under here and under here, and we can start taking those up this week. I feel like we should probably just we'll kind of split it up over the next 4 days. So like every day we'll take just like a fourth of it and send it up. I feel like it's easier for them to manage sending it over in smaller chunks than sending them all at once. And when we send them over, we can just put them in either these bread bags or Ziploc bags. I think the last time I sent them over, I was doing about 3 pounds per bag. So we can stick with that. I mean, it doesn't have to be exact. We could do a little bit more, a little bit less, whatever makes sense. And also, I'll show you outside some propagating, but this is root boost, so when we propagate things, we dip it in this, and then we put it in soil. So whenever I mention that, I just wanted to show you this container. This is a big piece of row cover that needs to be cut down. So what I want to do sometime this week is just unroll this, and we probably won't do the whole thing because it's 250 feet long. Unroll it and then take a cut piece of row cover like this one on bed number 6 and lay it on top, and then cut out pieces from the long roll, if that makes sense. So I'm just trying to get them down to the right size so that I can use them soon. Okay, outside. This lettuce we can start taking up. I want to get through most of this week. There are some carrots that have germinated, luckily, yay. You can see the little, I don't know if you can see that. They're right here. The carrots have germinated. There's lots of rows of them, so I think at this point we can take out the lettuce. And again, kind of like the sweet potatoes, I don't want to send them all up in one day, so we could just take like a fourth of the lettuce each day and send it up. We need to keep kind of trimming on this and harvesting. I want to do a pretty significant harvest this week. We planted some Swiss chard in here, just kind of at various spots. And so obviously it needs some more sun in here. So we can do a pretty hard harvest. Some of these leaves, I mean, they all have flea beetles, which I've sprayed numerous times. Some of them are really bad, like some of these down here, I would just trim those off. And don't send those up, they just too bad. But yeah, so we'll harvest on that. Let me go in here. In this bed, we will keep harvesting the sweet peppers, or like, I don't know, I haven't even tried one of these peppers. I think they're supposed to be more of a mild pepper, not necessarily sweet though. So we'll keep harvesting the large ones. I don't know at what point, I mean, it's not supposed to freeze, I don't think, next week, so maybe they'll last a little bit longer. The arugula can still be harvested. You can see some of the bigger leaves along the outside. Swiss chard, both in this bed and in the bed that's covered, needs to be harvested. The mustard can be harvested. There's probably some kale that can be harvested. Some of the leaves are a little eaten up, I think, from, well, actually, I don't know entirely what they're eating up from. Maybe grasshoppers. So we can harvest here. Also, just check the backs of the leaves and make sure there's no big aphid problem, which there was on some of these in the middle. So yeah, keep an eye on that. Just check the backs. We can harvest collards, which Katie said last week there were aphids on the collards, which I have sprayed for before, so we just have to keep an eye. Oh, like, see that right there? Those are aphids. So if you harvest from the collards, just look at the back and you can just wash them off in the sink if you find aphids. And then I'll go through here and I'll spray for them this week too. We can harvest this bok choy and that bok choy.
Boxing.
And then we can harvest some of the bigger leaves from the tatsoi along the outside rows. And that might be it. Oh, we can also harvest off some of the larger cabbage leaves as well. So especially on this type here and the type down the middle, like some of these really big leaves along the outside. Let's go ahead and harvest those. And last week, I think what we put on the bags were cabbage leaves cooked like you would collards or kale, just so people have an idea of what to do with it. I have some leeks here in the containers that need to be planted in this bed. You can see right now there's probably about 3 rows in here, and I think I tried direct sowing something else which didn't really take. So you can see the leeks are planted fairly close together, so just squeeze in the leeks. And it doesn't have to be in a row. The leeks can kind of just be planted wherever. So that's something that can be planted. Oh, and the propagating. Let me show you. There's 2 things that I want propagated. The Cuban oregano, which is here, and also the pineapple sage, and I'll show you that one in a minute. So basically when you propagate, you want to get the tender part of the stem, so like anything up here towards the top. Oops, I just pulled it back. So I would cut off like right here where my thumb is, and I would pull off the bottom leaves. I would dip that bottom part in that root growth powder that I showed you inside, and then put it in soil basically, and that's pretty much it. So there's Cuban oregano here, and it's also at the end of bed 10 in a container. And then for the pineapple sage, it's the same thing. You want to take the tender growth, dip it in, take off the leaves, and then dip it in the root hormone and put it in soil. I would love to get like 10 to 12 of each of these. Can you grab that for me, bud? Thanks. So like, if you look here, this is just kind of like a more tender piece of stem coming off of a more woody stem. So you could cut it back, you know, a few inches like here. There's no leaves on the bottom, so you don't have to worry about that part. Dip it in the hormone and put it in soil. So there's a few more I noticed, like here. I'm trying not to take, well actually these are a little more tender now that I'm looking at it. I was trying not to take anything with flowers on it. Down here there's one. Down here there's one. Yeah, so just see what you can find here that's a little more tender that doesn't have flowers on it. And then we can, hold on buddy, and then we can go with some other, like this actually, like if you look at this one here, the stem is pretty tender on this one, so we might have to just take some that do have the flowers. But we can kind of figure that out as we go. Watering, I don't think we're supposed to get really any rain this week, but luckily it's cooled down. I still have things that I'm waiting to germinate, like the garlic that we planted last week and the spinach that we replanted. So we probably will daily have to just kind of drag the hose around and water here and there. Hopefully things just won't need watered quite as much now. One thing that we can probably start harvesting soon is this red sorrel, which is at the end of this bed. If you've never tasted it, I would encourage you to try some. It's very lemony. It's really good, I think. I think people put it in soups. But we can maybe start harvesting some leaves off of that. Just a little kind of taste of it more than anything. Okay, I think that's about it. My kids are off school tomorrow, which is Monday. So my hours here are going to be limited, and then Wednesday and Friday it should be normal, but I'll probably stop in Tuesday and or Thursday as well. Call me or text me if you have any questions. Thanks guys, bye bye.